What's up guys? I'm back with another video, and today I decided to do a Q&A video to celebrate me hitting that 10K mark. I didn't expect to get here that fast. I honestly was just making videos just for myself, but you guys like what I'm able to do and how I'm able to present it and articulate the content, so here we are at 10K. I actually posted up on Instagram and YouTube. I pretty much put a poll out giving you guys an opportunity to drop your questions, anything you want to ask me on any topic. So I'm gonna go through those right now. As you can see, I'm in a different location because I just wanted to change the scenery. I want to give you guys something fresh, something new, and it's been a while since I've been here. This is the bamboo forest in Atlanta. So, all right, let's get into these questions and hopefully we got some good ones. So let's see, I have a lot of questions. So we're gonna try to go through these pretty quick. I don't want to be out here for hours, but I'm going to try to have thorough answers for you guys. I don't want to just say something and move on, but at the same time, I do need to move at a pretty decent pace. You're pretty jacked. Could you go over your workout routine? Okay, yeah. I've been working out for about 5 years now, and my workout routine has constantly been changing. I actually just changed it recently. As of right now, which I don't recommend anyone just starting out with if you're a beginner, but if you have been working out for a little while, this is what I do as of right now. I wake up in the morning and I'll jog 2 miles. If I'm on the treadmill, I usually set it to 6 miles per hour or 6.2 miles per hour, depending on the day. And then I'll go home, eat, make sure eating good meals, getting a lot of good nutrients in. And then I'll come back again in the evening. If I ran at the gym, I'll go back to the gym, or if I ran outside, then when I come back, I go to the gym. And I'll actually do a lift session. Now, because I'm running in the morning, my lift sessions aren't as intense as I used to be. I used to do like really, really heavy and strenuous workouts, but now it's more of maintaining and still building muscle, but not at the same rate. And for me to do that, so my body can have enough time to rest, is run in the morning and then I do one muscle group instead of doing multiple muscle groups at once. So today I actually just hiked out here, so I'm gonna use this as my cardio. It's like a 20-minute hike with camera gear, which might be my new favorite way of cardio, by the way. I was thinking about that on the way down. I'm gonna go back and just do shoulders. Tomorrow, run in the morning, go and do chest. So I keep it very simple. I attack one muscle group at a time so that my body has time to rest. How do you get such tight edits in your content? I get this question asked a lot as to who do I go to for editing, and I go to myself. I'm self-taught. I got into cinematography and videography in high school, and then I actually started my own company probably 5 years after that, and I got pretty good. I started doing weddings, and I did a lot of car events. I also did stuff for like lawyers and stuff like that, and I've also done stuff for businesses. And yeah, it was all self-taught, and I actually stopped that company a couple years back because I felt burnt out. I never gave myself a break, which is something that I'm being very careful with this channel. I want to give myself breaks, so I'm not posting too much. I post about once or twice a month just to keep it fresh for me. Yeah, I was pretty much dormant for about 2 or 3 years, not producing any video content. And then I got into firearms, and then after a couple of years in the firearm industry, I started making content, and I really enjoy it. I'm combining two things that I really love: videography and firearms, and two-way stuff. So I go to myself. I did not go to school for it. I actually learned on YouTube strictly. I learned everything I know on YouTube. Do you plan on doing another rifle build or any other weapon systems? Yes. So right now I am looking to do another rifle build. It's gonna be either an 11.5 or a 12.5. I'm debating on just buying a complete rifle because, as you guys know, my current rifle is an IWI Zion 15, and it runs great. And it's a good platform to start off with, and then I can change parts as they go bad over time. I think I wanna do that again just because it's simple and I can have a firearm in my hands immediately. But if I'm gonna build one, I'm gonna be able to pick every single part that I want, and it'll be something that is specific to me. So yes, I do plan on doing that, but I have some other things I want to handle first before I go into buying another rifle. And one of those things is really going to help the channel a lot when it comes to being able to put a little bit more shooting content out. What kind of chest rig plate carrier do you run? Could you show that setup? So yes, I have the chest rig that you guys have seen in, I think it might have been the rifle video. It's a T-Rex Arms chest rig. I don't know a lot about all the different chest rigs out there. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is the best one. It's mine. It was explained thoroughly through T-Rex Arms, and so I was very confident when I went to go buy it. It runs great, it's very durable, and it is modular to an extent, but it's really, that chest rig is just to have something. I do want to get a plate carrier at some point, but I want it to have something right now, just so I have something. And then I'll save up and get plates and a plate carrier and set that rig up. But T-Rex Arms, when they made that chest rig, it pretty much came with everything that you needed, and it was like a one and done kind of purchase, and I was really excited for that, and that made things very simple for me. If you have any female shooters in your life, which I do, I would appreciate concealed carry information or tips for women of all shapes and sizes, but I am tall and narrow hipped. For the concealed carry portion, I would actually redirect you to a YouTuber. Her name is Tessa Booth. She actually lives in Georgia. She lives in South Georgia. I've been watching her content for a while because she has great content for both sexes, but there is some female specific content that she has on there as well that is really, really good. But as you know, if you do not feel comfortable carrying on body, there are alternatives. And in the two-way community, I think we're a little too rough on each other saying you have to carry it this way or it's pointless. Look, there are different situations that call for different setups. When I'm at the beach, I don't have my gun in my pants, right? I have it either in a bag or, which I really hope to get, is a fanny pack that can fit my full-size gun that I can keep on me. But there are purses, there are leg straps for women, there's like these leggings that can hold guns. There's also like it's like belly bands that can hold guns. So you're gonna wanna just explore and figure out what works best for you. And there's no wrong answer. The only thing I would say is make sure whatever you decide to choose has a way to protect the trigger guard. If you're putting your gun in a loose, empty space, you're just asking for trouble. So you wanna make sure no matter what type of carry or what position you decide to put that gun in, that there's a way that the trigger guard is being protected. And there's many ways to solve that problem. So any guidance for those with cross hand-eye dominance, especially regarding long guns. So yes, I'm actually cross dominant. So I'm right-hand dominant. Sorry, I'm right-handed, but I'm left-eye dominant. So whenever I raise my pistol, it goes to my left eye. Now with long guns, here's something that I found out recently that was really, really cool. Being cross-eye dominant actually can be a huge benefit when it comes to long guns because you're able to shoot with both eyes. When I say both eyes, I'm not just saying both eyes open, but I'm saying you can switch shoulders and be able to shoot. Now, I shoot primarily with my right eye with my long guns, but last month I was getting instructed by an ex-Marine. He was showing me how to shoot with my left eye because he found out I was left eye dominant. And I kid you not, the first 3 shots I shot were complete misses, right? But then every shot after that, I was dinging steel at 400 yards. I didn't think I could do it, but it's very doable. So what I would recommend is next time you go to the range, is just switch shoulders. It's gonna feel weird shooting with your left hand. I know it was for me, but your eye will do the rest of the work. Like once you're target focused with your dominant eye, it's like so much clearer. And I do see a little clearer out of this eye, out of my long gun. What made you choose the M&P platform? What made me choose the M&P platform? Well, I will be completely honest. Yes, I like the ergonomics, and yes, I like the grip texture, but there are so many other guns that have the same ergonomics as M&P when I'm talking about grip angle and an aggressive grip texture. One, I wanted something different than Glock because I just felt like everybody had a Glock and I didn't want to do the same thing everybody else was. I know that sounds really dumb, but I want to try something different. And then 2, I really like the way the M&P looks. Yes, the final factor in me deciding to get an M&P was because I really like the way the gun looks. I'm not gonna sit here and say the M&P is better than any other gun in the world because I recently had a PDP beforehand and I sent that back because I thought it was too snappy, which funny enough, it's not too snappy. It just wasn't broken in because when I got the M&P, I thought it was super snappy. I thought it was snappier than the PDP until I put about 600 rounds through it. Then it got super soft and now it's one of my softest shooting guns. Yeah, there's so many firearms that are good out there, you guys. It's just hard to choose which one's better than the other. I got the M&P because it knocked out some of the things I was looking for in a new handgun and because it looked cool. What would you recommend for someone wanting to get into competition style shooting? Honestly, just show up. I feel like shooting competitions are more mainstream than they've ever been before. And I feel like I got into it right before that took off. It was last year, in January. So 2023, January, I went to my first competition, and it was completely by accident. I was living in Kennesaw, and I went to the gun range really late, and I saw that in some of the bays, the people were standing past the shooting stands. And I was like, what are they doing? So I asked them, I said, what are they doing? Are they like training for something? And he said, no, they're just gonna shoot a match. He told me about it. And so I asked him if I could just watch. So he let me go in there, free of charge. Honestly, if you go to any match, you can watch for free. They're not gonna charge you for that. That's something I found out is universal. If you wanna watch, they are more than happy to let you just stand there and answer any questions you want because they want the sport to grow. But I went in there, I watched, and I was like, this is really cool. And it took a while for me to muster up the courage to sign up myself. Honestly, what I'd recommend is just watching one, like watching one live. Watching them on YouTube, that's great, but half the time the guys that record themselves on YouTube are really, really good. So you're gonna feel like you're not ready for it at all. Just find a local match. You can use practicescore.com to find local matches and just watch a match or two. And then what I would do is just take your time. If you want to get into match shooting, take your time and listen to what the RO is saying. My first match, I literally walked the entire stage. I did not run, I did not sprint, I didn't try to get my gun up fast. I just wanted to complete the stages and like know that I could do it. So I told the RO I'm gonna be walking. He's like, that's completely fine. Timer went off. I shot my first set of targets and I walked to the next position. Shot my next set of targets, walked to another position, and then shot my last set of targets. Don't be afraid. People that shoot competitions, they want the sport to grow really, really bad. So they will be super friendly. I have not come across any issues with anybody at competitions, despite what I see on social media. At the higher level stuff, for local matches, I can tell you that dudes are really friendly and they will answer any questions. They will even give you tips. I mean, there are so many times where I've gone to matches, even to this day, where I'll go to a match and someone will run the stage before me and they will give me tips and I will run the stage better than them, and they're excited about that. It's crazy how like they're competing with each other, but at the same time, they want to see each other do well. Yeah, just go and watch a match first, maybe watch one or two, sign up, ask a bunch of questions, just get to know the guys, and they'll walk you through it and they'll help you and they'll be super friendly, I promise. Top 5 AR-15 platforms. Ooh, okay. My top 5, I like the IWI Zion 15. I don't know if it's a top 5 in general, but for me it's a top 5 because it got me into shooting more and into the whole shooting world. So it's sentimental, so I'm gonna say IWI, and these are gonna be out of order. There's no specific order on what these are. But IWI, BCM. BCM is a really good rifle company. I think you get your best bang for your buck for them. And I know it sounds super base, me saying that, because everyone says BCM, but man, for the price, you're getting some quality guns. I would say Noveske. I haven't shot one of their rifles yet, but from what I've been reading in the reviews, their spec lists and how they go about producing the rifles, I'm a huge fan, and I want to get one of those eventually. I want to say Dango Defense because of the reliability, but the price point is kind of high. So if I had to put these in order, I'd put that at 5. Not saying the quality isn't good and that it's not true and tried, but there are some pretty pricey rifles. Noveske can be pricey too, but I feel like Dango Defense can be more expensive. Now, this last one, I'm not gonna say I recommend you getting this, but I really stand behind the company because of what they're trying to do. And I would say PSA, okay? Now, if you have the money to get something better, get something better. Do not get a PSA rifle first. But if you really are struggling with money and you really feel like you need a firearm, I would say go PSA because one, they're affordable and they're good enough. When I say good enough, that should be a rifle that you try to take care of as well as possible to make sure it runs as well as possible and train with it occasionally. But I would not run that into the dirt like other rifles. Like my IWI, I will run that into the dirt. Zero issues with training with that all the time and even sometimes running it dry. But PSA, I would take care of that rifle because the quality control can be a little iffy sometimes, but I love the fact that they are doing their best to make sure everybody has access to a firearm if they need it. What's your core beliefs that are really important to you? Are you religious? Yes, I am religious, I am Christian. I grew up Christian, and I would say I'm getting more into my faith right now in life more than I ever have, and that's due to my girlfriend. She recently just found Christ, and it was really cool seeing her develop, and she's really dove into it. I'm not gonna preach, my religion over others. You can believe what you wanna believe. This is just what I believe. With that, I do have some core beliefs. I just honestly think we should treat each other better overall. And I think children should be protected at all costs because they are the purest form of a human. I mean, they come out and they do not have any prejudices. There's no racism and there's very little hate. Obviously, they hate to go to bed, they hate to do this and that, but they don't have like pure hate like some of us develop over time. And I think that we should protect that as long as possible. Am I saying shield your children from life? No, they need to grow up and, handle it like a man or a grown woman. I feel like right now, especially, we are exposing children to things that they should not be exposed to at such a young age. And it's reflecting years later. I mean, just look around in America, look how crazy it's gotten. And I think that's due to bad parenting. I think children should be a main focus right after, God and your spouse. And then I also just believe we should treat each other more humanely. We're all human. We're all gonna make mistakes. And sometimes, I make the same mistake of holding people to a higher standard, but they're just human. And I can't get upset at them for being human. What are your top 5 carry guns? Top 5? That's easy. Top 5 carry guns, I would say Glock 19, M&P 2.0 compact. Yes, I carry the full size, but I think the compact would be better for a lot more people. SIG 365 XL. I would say the PDP compact, maybe the CZP10. I've heard some good things about that. Kind of a fan of it, so yeah, maybe I'll do that as well. Do you read? If so, what are good books you'd recommend for other men to read? I do not read that much, and it's not because I don't want to, because I do want to, it's just that I've been lazy. I do want to read more, so I can't really help you with that one. And I feel bad because now I'm realizing how long it's been since I've been telling myself, all right, I'm gonna start reading again. I see you run a chest rig. What are your thoughts on plate carriers body armor? Oh, I definitely think you should get that. Definitely. I'm a huge advocate for having both. Chest rigs for, trekking long distances, body armor for obviously protecting yourself. I do plan on getting body armor. I said that earlier in the video, but as of right now, I just have a chest rig because I wanted to have a platform to carry stuff. I wanted that right now. Plate carrier for sure. Definitely recommend it. LPVO or red dot? I mean, you guys have seen my rifle, and my next build will probably have an LPVO on it just because of the versatility of it, but I think it depends. I think for a home defense gun, definitely a red dot. It's quick. You don't gotta get a perfect eye box every time. But overall, I like an LPVO just because there's different types you can get as well. Just like there are different types of rifle lengths you want to use for each situation. What I mean by that is right now I have a 1-10 on my rifle, and I use that primarily for mid-range to long range. But my 1-6, it's for close range. My 1 power on my 1-6 is so much clearer and so much more eye relief than my 1-10. So I think, it depends on what you want to do, depends on what kind of scope you get, and that application will amplify whatever mission set you're aiming for. But when it comes to choosing each one, I personally like LPVO, but red dots, they're fast. You can still shoot up to 200, 300. I know people that can shoot even further with red dots, but I don't know. I like an edge reticle, and if I want illumination, I can turn it on and off. Yes, it's not daylight bright, but it's bright enough. I can still see it in the daylight, so I don't get that argument. But yeah, I would choose LPVO, but that's just me. I'm not saying that's the right answer. It's just what I like and what makes you feel comfortable. Are you single? That's my girlfriend. So no, I am not single. She wanted me to tell the world that, because I don't really talk about my personal life on here. But no, I'm not single. I am in love with my beautiful girlfriend that I do hope to marry one day. And she is the backbone for all of my crazy adventures. And she's like my #1 cheerleader when it comes to this YouTube stuff. She's wonderful. She treats me like a king, and I hope I treat her just as much as a queen. What camera do you use? So right now I use a Panasonic GH5. This camera's pretty old, and you can probably get it for like 1,800 bucks. Really, it doesn't come down to the camera body itself. You always want to buy a good glass with it. When I say good glass, I mean lenses. So right now I use a Panasonic GH5. I use that for all my filming. I occasionally will use a Sony A7S IV or an A7 III, when I'm renting it to do projects for clients. The camera that I own is the Lumix GH5, and I love it, it works. The autofocus isn't the greatest, I always shoot manual, but it's a great camera. What motivates you to get so efficient with training and with your firearms? Honestly, it was because of the COVID stuff. Again, I told you guys that around 2020 was when I bought my first gun because all the riots and stuff in Atlanta, and I wanted to be protected, and I wanted to protect people that I cared about. And that was the main reason I got into it. Now, what continues to motivate me, believe it or not, it's you guys. When I'm seeing YouTube videos of you guys training, it just reminds me that there are better shooters out there than me, and that I should always strive to try to be towards the top of the food chain. In shooting, I'm not saying in harming anybody, just in the sport itself. Because if I can be up there and something in my life happens where I'm approached or threatened by somebody and I have to protect myself, I know I'll be capable of protecting myself and my family and my friends. So really, it's my friends and family that motivate me. They don't ask me to train. It's just, I really care about them, and I want to be able to do what's necessary if I have to and I'm around. Do you feel like getting into competition is what made you a better shooter? 100% yes. I'm not gonna say that's the only thing that's made me a better shooter, because I go out of my way to train on my own and push myself, but competition definitely made me a better shooter because you can only do so much on your own. You can't watch yourself shoot in live time. You can record yourself and you can kind of analyze what you see and what you don't see, but having somebody that's better than you watch you shoot and then give you feedback is 100% the way to go. I've definitely skyrocketed in my shooting performance by competing with people that are way better than me. Also, shooting in a competition, your heart rate goes up tremendously. Like, the adrenaline going through your body, obviously it's not gonna be the same as a self-defense scenario, but it's still better than nothing. And getting nervous, getting those butterflies, getting that heartbeat right before you shoot, and then having to do everything from a cold start, definitely a great way to see where you are and to see where you set the bar for yourself. So yeah, competition has definitely made me better. What's the favorite training thing that you do? How often do you train? Do you hunt? My favorite training thing, believe it or not, is working on the fundamentals. Because when I work on the fundamentals and then I have to push myself to do something a little bit more crazy or fast or speedy or unconventional, I don't have to worry about, am I gripping the gun right? Am I pulling the trigger right? Am I keeping, a good foundation behind the gun so that the gun always returns to zero? The fundamentals definitely are what I work on the most, and then I always add in fun stuff at the end of my training days. How often do you train? So I will say this last month has been an anomaly for me, but for about 3 years now, I train every week. I dry fire every day, as you saw in that other video, and then I shoot once a week. Now, it's not always the same what I work on or how much I shoot, but I always try to get behind the gun, like sending live rounds downrange once a week. This month has been crazy. I haven't shot in 2 weeks. Has it been 2 weeks? It might be 2.5 weeks now. And my dry fire has, at least for this last week, I haven't dry fired in like 4 days. I've just been super busy. But next week, I'm trying to get back on my regimen and get back to work. But life happens, I'm not beating myself up over it. It's just, like I said, life happens. And do I hunt? No, I do not hunt, but I have a friend, his uncle has some property down in South Georgia, and he has mentioned that he wants to go hunting with me at some point. So I would love to actually hunt and test my skills out in the wilderness. Am I gonna be good at it? Probably not. There's a lot more that goes to hunting than just shooting a gun, which I think a lot of people have a misconception that learning how to shoot a gun means you're a survivalist, and it's like, no. Guns are literally such a small part of being like a Minuteman or a mountain man or whatever you want to call yourself. Like, there's certain things you have to learn about, like how to purify water. A lot of people don't know how to do that, which you can literally buy kits for, or how to set up, a campsite, what to look for when setting up a campsite, where to hike, where's the best path of travel when you're in the woods, I'd love to learn how to track too, but anyways, sorry, I'm going way off topic. No, I do not hunt as of right now, but I really want to get into deer hunting and hog hunting. What's your favorite pistol you consistently have carried? Definitely the M&P 2.0. If you haven't watched that video, definitely go watch it. But I've carried a Glock 45, a Glock 19, a PIG 365 XL, and a PDP full size. And the M&P 2.0 is definitely my favorite gun that I've carried by far. how is competition shooting and what's the culture with minorities that attend? Like I answered before, it's really fun and the guys are really friendly. And when it comes to minority shooting, at least where I'm at, it's very diverse. Minorities make up 40% of the matches I go to. It's a good mixture and everybody's super friendly. I understand what you're saying with the minorities thing because, you know, when you're on YouTube and stuff, gun stuff is predominantly white, which that's just an observation. It's not saying that's a bad thing or anything like that. So I do get why you're asking that, but I think the 2A community is a very cool little niche where everyone's just there just to have fun, learn, educate, and just share, you know? Did you ever struggle with recoil anticipation? If so, how did you get rid of it? Yep, definitely did. Just like everybody else that got into firearms, anticipation was something I had to overcome, and I still do it sometimes. I still catch myself doing it. But dry fire. Dry fire is the best way to get rid of stuff like that. That's why you should always dry fire. I know it sounds redundant to me saying this over and over again, but dry fire is where you can work on so much. Now, obviously when you're behind a gun, because it's about to go bang, you're gonna flinch a little bit. But if you can mentally check yourself and be like, okay, don't flinch and just pull the trigger back, let the gun do what it's gonna do, and I just hold it where it needs to be. The gun will start to act repeatable and very predictable, and you'll be okay. I'm curious on how you manage to conceal carry at work. If you could indicate what kind of role/industry you're in, plus the state, that would be helpful for context. Yeah, so my job is not conventional. I work in real estate and I'm the marketing director for a real estate company. And the real estate company actually owns 2 other companies, so I do marketing for them as well. The guys that I work for are very 2A. They love guns. I mean, they come to me because I shoot the most out of anyone in my company, and they come to me and ask me a bunch of questions about guns. One of my coworkers, he has like over 20, I think he has like 40 guns. The other one, he has like 6. And then my other coworkers, they ask me about guns and what they should buy and stuff like that. So it's very gun friendly. We carry all the time because we go to houses. Sometimes we have to go to houses that we're thinking about buying and they're abandoned and we don't know if there's squatters in there. So we always carry on us just in case, you know, you never know. But before that, I did have an office job. I did marketing for a ECU manufacturing company for drag cars. They were gun friendly as well. They weren't as open about it. They didn't want us to be like, you know, pulling our guns out and stuff like that in the building, but they were okay with carrying as long as we're getting the work done. And as long as we're being competent with what we were doing. I feel like a lot of jobs are okay with carrying as long as you're not like being super brash about it. And then I live in the state of Georgia, so super gun friendly state. LPVO or red dot magnifier. Actually, I think these, like, they're both really good options, but I would go with LPVO because you have, like, depending on which one you get, you can have mills or MOA edge lines that can help you with distance. But honestly, having something to identify a target at range, super beneficial. So you can't go wrong with either. I lean towards LPVO, but you can do red dot magnifier if you want something that's just a little quick and simple. What's your take on community preparedness groups, AKA militias? You mentioned that 2020 was what made you take personal defense seriously, but what about community defense? Is this something you're into? I actually think I'm not in a militia or anything like that, but I do think it is important if you're not in a militia to at least communicate with your friends like what you would do. Like my group of friends, we have talked about if stuff happened, what our plan would be. We're all into guns and we all have family. So our thing is we'd get our families together, we try to find an area that we can create our own community and try to live together and all of us play our roles. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say join a militia or anything like that. That's your own personal decision. Again, I'm not in one, but I do have community preparedness in mind. And as of right now, I have friends that are prepared to play a role in a group setting. I'm all for it as long as you're being a sane, moral, and just a good human being in the process. How do you budget for actual bills versus guns, ammo, and accessories? Oh, man. Yeah, that's an ongoing thing that I'm doing. I really, right now, like before it was hard because I didn't know where to start. So when you're trying to buy a gun, I would try to stay within budget and budget maybe 4 months to buy a quality firearm. And then after that, just ammo. And what I do for ammo is I only buy a small amount of ammo per week, but I buy enough to where I can train and then just have a little bit left over. So I have a video coming out pretty soon about how much ammo you can use a low round count range day. Right now, to keep me going on with pistol, I shoot about 150 a week, 150 to 300, depending on how much I want to train. But what I'll do is every paycheck that I get, I'll buy at least 4 boxes of ammo, 4 or 5 boxes, and then only shoot 2. So then now in the reserve, I have 3. So I'm constantly shooting, but I'm always buying a little extra so that I have something for if something were to happen or if ammo all of a sudden disappeared. I have a reserve no matter what. I would only, like for guns and stuff like that, make sure you take care of your bills first. Like, what's the point of having a Dango Defense gun or a Gucci gun if you're living on the street? Like, those things are definitely more important, but you can also budget for it in small quantities. You don't have to buy 1,000 rounds every time. Like, I think that's a misconception that people have. Like, I have to buy at least 500 rounds before I can really train. It's like, no. I buy, what I say, like about 200, shoot 100. Then buy another 200, shoot 100. And right now for 9mm, I'm paying about for for 200 rounds, I'm paying $60. So yeah, that's a lot. It's not really a lot of money, but it's still $60. Like, that's like 2 weeks worth of gas right there. But yeah, do what works best for you. If you can only shoot 50 rounds every range day, dude, that's fine. Just buy 100 rounds, spend $30, and then only shoot 1 box. And the next time you want to shoot, buy another 100 rounds and then shoot 50 rounds. And then now you have 100 rounds you've shot over the course of 2 weeks, because I shoot once a week, and you have 100 rounds in reserve just in case ammo disappears. It's an ongoing process, and definitely having an Excel spreadsheet would help. I don't have one, but I hear a lot of people do that, and it's way easier that way. Who are your influences for the channel? Could be anyone in or outside of YouTube. Also, if you could have a dream gun, what would it be? My influences. So within the community, I would definitely say Barrel and Hatchet, T-Rex Arms, Dirty Civilian. I would say Gunman. He's a really cool YouTuber. Outside the industry, Chris Bumstead, like for fitness, Crispy Media, and Colby Davis. Those are some really cool people that motivate me to stay healthy when it comes to fitness and just have some good life lessons as well. And if I had a dream gun, it'd probably be some like retro M16A1, like something with a huge bulky handguard with a giant grenade launcher on the bottom. I don't know why, like retro guns like that, like I think they're super cool. Is it practical? No. Is it versatile? Nope. But is it cool? Yes. And I'd love to have one. Grantham posts pictures of M16 sometimes, and that always gets me drooling. Like, I love that gun. What are some of your favorite concealed carry firearm holster combinations? As of right now, I primarily only carry with tier 1 concealed holsters, and it's not because I think they're better, it's just they work for me. They fit my body type well, and I like how they bend. I think the next holster I'm gonna get when I do get my 5-inch M&P will be a T-Rex Arms holster, only because of the modularity. I love that you can buy one holster and just buy a bunch of different attachments, and you can change it according to how you want to carry. Because with tier 1, whatever you buy is what you got. Now, they have newer holsters that are a little bit more modular, but I think T-Rex Arms still dominates when it comes to carry holsters. So I would say tier 1 concealed and T-Rex Arms for quality and durability and just comfort. And I carry the M&P 2.0, like I've said 1,000 times, so that's what will be running in all my holsters. So which one would I choose? A P80 that I built or a $500 Glock? Probably the Glock, because if I built the P80 and something goes wrong, I have to figure out how to fix it. I'm lazy, and I'm not saying P80 builds are bad, because I'm not gonna say the words so YouTube doesn't flag me, but they're a certain type of firearm, and that's really appealing for some people. But with Glock, I mean, they work, and if something doesn't work, especially with me being in Georgia, I can literally pull up to Glock and they will fix it for me right then and there. Their warranty is really, really good, and their customer service is even better. OEM 33 round 9mm Glock extended mag or 15 round 9mm OEM Glock mag. I would say the 15 round, just because you'd be able to conceal that even better. I have no experience with the large mags from Glock. From what I've seen, they do have more malfunctions than just the regular mags, and I think because the spring is being compressed so much further and then having to extend so much further than just, you know, the couple of inches of the 15 round mag. But it's up to you. I mean, if it works, again, I have no experience with it. I could be talking down on my butt right now, but if it works, do it. Just get the 33 round. What's your favorite caliber and any tips for shotgun training? So I am such a weird guy because I always get dirty looks when I say this, but I actually don't like shooting shotguns. I never really have, and I don't know if that'll change. Maybe I haven't shot the right shotgun, but as of right now, I just don't have any interest in shooting shotguns. But my favorite caliber right now, I mean, for pistol, definitely 9mm, and then for rifle, I have not shot 308 yet, but I think that would be my favorite round just because of the type of penetration and transfer of energy. 5.56 is really cool, but I think that's more of a fighting, like 308 is more of a fighting caliber, and that's stuff that really interests me. So I'm gonna say 308 is my favorite caliber, even though I've only shot 5.56 and 223 and 22. I'm gonna say 308, but 5.56 being the backup. What is your dream handgun and rifle? I think my dream handgun, the Bull Armory double stack 1911s. Those are really, really cool. Nightwood Guns has one, and man, his review on it was just so cool. And I think those guns would be awesome. I think I would carry that. I would definitely carry that. And I think I would maybe carry the 5-inch. Don't know. Maybe the 4 1/4 is where to go. But if I'm gonna carry with the light, 5-inch might be the best thing to do. Dream rifle. I know I mentioned the retro rifles like the M16, but if I really had to have a good rifle, probably a Noveske would be my dream rifle. Versatile and durable and accurate. I love their barrels, so yeah, definitely Noveske. What kind of training regimen would you recommend for a CCW holder that can practice with limited ammo? Let's use 50 rounds per training session as an example. So you are in luck. I'm actually filming a low round count video, range day video for you guys. That one's gonna use 100 rounds, so you're gonna have to modify it for yourself. But if you're only shooting 50 rounds, because I recommend 100 rounds because you get more reps in, like that's the minimum amount of reps you should get. I think 50 rounds cuts you kind of short and you don't really get the most, you don't really benefit the most from shooting that little. But if you're gonna do 50 rounds and you only have 50 rounds, I would say just shoot doubles. And doubles is pretty much you aim at a target and you pull the trigger twice and you see where your group is at. And you analyze what you did to cause that grouping, you fix it and go back in and do it over and over and over again. That'll teach you recoil impulse. It'll teach you marksmanship, and it'll also teach you how to stay visually target focused. I would probably just shoot doubles for 50 rounds and do that for a while until you get really comfortable with the gun. And then once you're able to shoot a little bit more rounds per training session, then I would do that as well. I would, again, minimum should be around 100 if you can do that. 50 rounds, just do doubles. But like I said, I have a video coming out where I'm gonna show you what you can do with 100 rounds, just pistol, and 100 rounds rifle. So that'll be a really cool video. And the way it's set up is that you can do it at an indoor or outdoor range, not just specifically to an outdoor range. I'll be doing it at an outdoor range, but you can do it at an indoor range as well, the kind of stuff that I'm doing. How do you go to the bathroom while carrying? I've been trying different ways, but mostly I've been going to the stall, so it's just easier just to remove the holster. Yeah, so ever since I started carrying, I've been going to the stall as well. I find that just to be super easy, but when I do have to go and there's not a stall available and I have to use a urinal, what I pretty much do is I go up to the urinal, I'll take off my holster, like underneath my shirt, and underneath my shirt, I'll put it under my armpit. So I'm holding it right here. It's underneath the shirt right here, and then I go to the restroom. Now, you'd be surprised, like people aren't looking at you when you're in the bathroom, and if they are, you've got a bigger problem, but no one notices when I do that because one, is under my shirt, and no one's, think about it, how often do you stare at somebody's armpit when you're walking around? That's just not a thing. The same way you don't stare at people's waistbands. You might now because you carry, but people don't look at people's waistbands primarily, like typically. What I do is I just unhook it, I put it underneath, and I just go to the restroom like this. When I'm done, I just reach up put it back in front of me, clip it back on and go. When are you gonna go LARP in the woods with me again? Oh, this is my buddy Trent. Yeah, I've been pretty busy, but you know, we should probably go in the next couple of months. Maybe when it cools off a little bit, maybe in the fall we should aim for something. I think that'd be really cool, and we can try to go somewhere a little like different or further away, because this Georgia heat is no joke. I'm in the shade right now, so I feel pretty good, but during the day it gets pretty hot, and I'm not a fan of that. Do you do any training or classes? No, I do not. I think a lot of people, when they become somewhat of an influence to others, they feel like they try to make a quick buck and they don't really think about the repercussions of what they're doing. I am not at a level to where I think it is appropriate for me to train people. I think, yes, I am a good shooter. I think I can shoot better than the average person for sure. In the competition realm, I think I'm not at the bottom of the pack anymore, but there's so much for me to learn before I need to be teaching people stuff. Barber Solutions made a post about this, and he was basically using the USPSA rankings to illustrate this. But if you're a A-class shooter, right, you should be teaching B or C-class shooters how to get to A. You should not be teaching other A-class shooters or above. If you're a C-class shooter, you should not be trying to teach B and A-class shooters. You should be teaching unclassified shooters, or D-class, or I don't know if it goes down to D, but you know what I mean? So I can only teach below me. So if, like, my friends, I teach them stuff and I help them because they're not into shooting as much as me. They love to shoot, but I shoot way more than all my friends. So I teach them stuff. But when it comes to training and like traveling and stuff like that, I don't think I'm established enough and have the experience enough to be doing that, because I'd be doing you guys a disservice just to make money, and I don't think that's cool at all. Thoughts on Airsoft milsim events for training? Oh, definitely. Yes, I don't care what anybody says. Like, Airsoft milsim is a great way for training, and not, I think people, when they say that, they get confused when they're like, dude, there's no recoil, like how can you train? It's not about the recoil. If you're doing milsim, it's not about recoil, it's about tactics. And I think you learn a lot when it comes to tactics in milsim without paying the ultimate price, right? So yes, I think I really want to do a milsim event. I would love to go out there and do one and film it and like have a really cool video for you guys. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yes, milsim and Airsoft in general, it's a great way to do it. Thoughts on Holosun 509T? I do not have one. I'm a huge Holosun advocate for sure. All my guns have Holosun on them. And I plan on getting the 507 competition on my 5-inch once I get the 5-inch. But the 509T I have not run, so I can't speak on that specifically, but it being Holosun, I feel pretty confident with it. I trust it. And if it doesn't work or if it breaks, you can always go back to Holosun. All right, so the big question that everybody asks me, why do you blur your face, and would you ever do a face reveal at some point? So the reason why I cover my face, believe it or not, it's actually not for me. I would have started this channel without blurring my face, but I have people in my life that work in certain industries that aren't 2A friendly. Now, when I say 2A friendly, it's not that the companies that work for hate the 2A community. It's just guns and that community don't really mesh well, if you get what I'm saying. And these people have sensitive positions to where they can get fired for the littlest of things. As of right now, I'm blurring my face for them. It is not me. I know someone made a comment saying I shouldn't be ashamed of what I do. I'm definitely not. Because if you come across me in person, I will tell you who I am. I will tell you I'm Concrete Cowboy. I am not afraid to show my face. Will my face get leaked out there at some point? I'm sure, because I'm always shooting, I'm always around people, I'm always telling people about the channel. If someone wants to put my face out there, that's fine. And that'll be for you guys. But when it comes to linking back to them, I don't want my channel to be like this big channel that's easy to find for their employers to come across and be like, oh snap, like, nah, I don't think we can, this shouldn't be, nah. You know what I mean? I don't want them to connect dots that aren't there. A face reveal is definitely coming down the line. I don't intend on hiding my face forever, but it's for the sake of them. The good thing is these people that are in that industry are thinking about leaving that industry, and once that happens, I'll be free to do whatever I want. I do want to make this clear. They did not ask me to blur my face. I'm doing this for them because I care about them. So the face blurring isn't some tactical thing I wanted to do. It's not trying to pretend that I'm some Secret Service, Special Forces guy. I'm just a normal dude. I've never served in the military, never been Special Forces. I'm just a civilian that cares about his health and protecting his family. All right, guys, that is all the questions that you gave me. I don't know how many that was, but that was a pretty lengthy list. I just want to thank you guys for the support again. Hitting 10K in less than a year is remarkable to me. I did not think this channel was going to be something big. I wanted to do it because I love making content and I love guns. So I said, why not do both? I think a lot of people in the industry, in the two-way community, we forget that there are new members every single day. I've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of the stuff that I make on my channel, it's like common sense to my friends or common sense to the guys that I shoot with, but it's not common sense to the guy that just bought his first gun last week, you know? So I feel like we sometimes forget that we were that guy and that there are new people starting their journey every single day. So I want there to be fresh content. Like, these videos that I make aren't brand new. Like, this stuff has been done in the past. It's just now we have the technology to present it in a different way, in a more intriguing way for the new generations to come. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be able to share, you know, from the beginning to end, all the stuff I've learned. I think I'm going to do a Q&A every milestone. So right now I'm going to do a Q&A every 10,000. I think that's going to be my goal. Hopefully I'm not hitting these milestones too fast, because it would be crazy to hit like 30,000 next week and then I have to make 2 Q&As. If it happens that fast, I'll just do 1 Q&A, but if my growth is slow, I'll do every 10K. I think that's worth doing all the way up to 100K, and then maybe after 100K, I'll just keep doing the same thing. Maybe I'll just be a trend on my channel, Q&As, because you never know when someone's gonna join the community. When I say community, I'm talking about my community, the Concrete Cowboy community. And I want you guys to know who I am and be able to have the opportunity to connect with me. But I thought this would be a fun way to interact with you guys, and have some more videos lined up for you guys on the channel. And that's really all I have for you guys today. So I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for the support, guys.